In this video, I'm going to show you how to extend the end dates for your plans if you decide to extend those plans into the next school year. This video is being filmed in a training server. There are no real students or real names. Any likeness to any real student is purely coincidental. So to start this video, I am here in Analytics and Insights on my Student Plans landing page where I can see all of my active plans for students I have access to. To get here, I logged into Analytics and Insights. I came over to the left to Utility Apps and MTSS Student Plans. This is where I'll see a listing of all of my active student plans, and I'm going to show you two different ways that you can change the end date of a plan if you are wanting to extend that into the future school year. So you'll notice here I have this column that has my end dates. I have 5/23/2025, that is the last day of my school year, but we have decided that both Mitchell and Scotty's plans are going to be extended into the next school year because we're going to continue to offer them the support next school year. So the first way I'm going to show you how to do this is to do this individually. So if you were meeting with the student and wanted to go ahead and do that, or meeting about the student in your PST, wanted to go ahead and do that each time you meet about a student, you could certainly do that individually. So I'm going to come over here to this action column and click on the edit pencil. What this is going to do is it's going to bring up the plan for me to edit or view. And in order to edit this end date here, I'm going to use this edit pencil next to the name of Mitchell's plan. This is going to pull up my edit student plan pop-up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this end date here. So I'm going to move it to the end of the next school year. So we're going to say that's going to be May 23rd, 2026. And I'm going to hit save. And that has saved successfully. I get that notification. Of course, you'll want to follow any guidance from MTSS, ARI, or OMI regarding any documentation within the plan. But as far as just extending this end date, how you do that, that is one of the ways you can do it. I'm going to close this out now that I've gotten that notification that it's saved. And now in my list, I can see that Mitchell's plan has been extended. Another way that you can do this is to do it in bulk. You can edit end dates in bulk. When you're doing this, a couple of different ways that you could narrow down your students. You could narrow down by template name or plan name if you wanted to just do your PST plans or your SRIPs. If you were looking for a certain student, you can certainly do that, but that's going to narrow it down to one. To do this in bulk, you want to grab all of the students that you need to extend that end date for. One great way to do that might be to use the end date search. So I could search for the day that I have most of my plans ending this year, and that will filter to just those plans. So what you want to do first of all is use these filters to get the list of students that you need to extend those end dates. Once you have those students, what you're going to do is you're going to select the students that you need to change the end date for. So if you had used this end date filter to filter to all of your plans that end at the end of this year, then you could scroll through and select the ones that you are continuing. So be that, 5, 10, 15, however it may be. Notice once I have more than one selected here, this bulk options turns blue. So I'm going to click on bulk options and I'm going to click on this edit. What this is going to allow me to do is edit the end date for these plans in bulk. So I'm going to click on edit. And I'm going to choose the date I want all of these plans to have. And I'm going to hit save. And that just saves the end date for those plans in bulk. What that does is, again, just makes the plan active into that next school year. So then if you decide not to extend a plan into a future school year, there's nothing that makes it inactive other than the end date passing. So you would just need to let that end date pass. If you've already extended it, you could go ahead and bring it back to whatever the actual end date of the plan is. So we're extending the dates into the future school year for those PST plans that need to be extended into the future school year. For SRIP plans, the guidance has already been given to go ahead and put that end date as the end of July for that student's third grade year, whatever year that may be for that student. Again, if you needed to end that plan earlier, all you do is change that end date. So with all of our plans, we can go in and we can individually change the end date, or we can change the end date in bulk.